welcome.
So I just want to ask you, you've been on quite a unique journey with your boxing career. You started off as a assistant trainer at Peter Harrison. How did that fuel your passion for the sport?
Well, I was very fortunate to be with Peter Harrison for about 11 years in the gym, boxing amateur. Peter Harrison was a magnificent coach, absolutely. I mean, he was years above, beyond everybody else. If Peter was based in England, he'd have been an absolute legend, a coach. He still is in my eyes. And I was very fortunate. Me and Peter, we were very close, and when I had my last fight, Peter asked me would I become his assistant trainer to Scott Harrison and the boys that had in the gym, because I was the only person that he trusted in boxing, and I was honoured to be asked by him, and I took up the position, and I think I was his assistant for about 10 or 11 years before Peter went to do the Scotland amateur team, and I took over the fighters and then branched out myself.
So see, when you were alongside Peter and he was training his son, what was that role like you had to play? Did you have to kind of mediate sometimes? Did you have to be the kind of outside voice to calm things down, or was it just gaining that experience for somebody so knowledgeable?
Sometimes it was a lot. Sometimes it was a wee bit of needle with Scotty's dad, as there always is with fathers and relationships. But no, I done all the pad work, a lot of the groundwork along with John McGuinness. Peter was brains. And we were just like sponges taking it on.
Aye. So see, when you say you're like a sponge, how did you develop that boxing mind to break down a fight? Because it's one thing to watch it as a fan and recognise skill, but it's another thing to kind of break it down, if you get what I mean. How did you develop that?
Well, it's years being in a gym, isn't it? I mean, I was 11 years with Peter, with all the top pros in Scotland. You know, if you kind of learn a lot in that time and transition it to becoming a coach, and you really should be in the sport. You know what I mean? Every day is a learning day. If you can take a little bit of it every day. I mean, I'm surrounded with top professionals. I learnt a lot from them. Added to what Peter was teaching me. You couldn't fail but to learn. And if you didn't learn, then you don't deserve to be in the sport.
Do you think a lot of the skills that you transferred there helped you to get such a good start to your career?
Without a shadow of a doubt. If it wasn't for Peter Harrison, I wouldn't be where I am now.
And you've had quite an illustrious career with Ricky Burns. How did that come about?
Ricky lost to Carl Johansson in his second attempt for the British title, and his manager Alec gave me a phone and says, could you have a look at him? He came to the gym, and his hand speed was frightening, but Ricky never knew how to put one foot in front of the other. He was always on the back foot, circling, counter boxing on the back foot. So I sat him down and says, your style has to change, and that's exactly what I done. And credit to Alec Morrison, who was a fantastic manager for him. He got many fights in a short space of time. So what I was teaching and developing in the gym, Ricky was translating into fights, and he ended up started stopping guys, and he stopped one guy in particular, a wee African guy that hadn't been stopped. I think he only maybe stopped once previous in his career, and I knew that night that he was going to do something. I didn't realise to the extent. A 3-weight world champion. But no, Ricky was a joy to train. He was a role model in the gym for everybody.
Was that not daunting, but was that something that you had to be quite bold in, to tell Ricky when you're quite early in your journey you need to change your approach to being a fighter?
No, I've always been perfectly honest with you. If it's one of these sports, there's nothing worse than a brave trainer. I'll tell you the truth. If you don't like it, the door's never shut. You can leave any time. And some have. There's not one boxer left my gym and achieved anything.
And that's...
In fact, boxers have left. Ricky left after my only defeat against Crawford, and he asked to come back 2 fights later.
He was under Tony Sims when he left, yeah. He just went on and done...
Well, he was 21 1-1 with me. and the time that he was with me, and I think it was 7-5 down in London.
Aye. Do you think that in boxing, maybe so much more now in the present day, there's seems to be this: if a fighter loses, they kind of move trainer. What's your opinion on that?
It's a box of prerogative. If they want to move, they can move, but never come back.
Aye. So you said that Ricky boxed Crawford. See, when you set the game plan up for that fight, what was your approach?
Well, I knew Crawford was a good fighter, but didn't know he was going to
Aye.
and not the best fighter on the planet.
Aye.
But he's the best fighter I've seen live.
Really?
Without a shadow of doubt. His balance was immense, both southpaw and orthodox. Shot selection was fantastic, and Ricky gave him a good fight. Let's not forget that.
Aye.
Yes, we got beat. There's no disputing that. But if you take into consideration, I think it was his next 8 fights he stopped everybody.
Right.
Crawford.
Wow.
Crawford still praises Ricky to this day. When I was over with Martin in Los Angeles, he confronted Eddie Hearns and says to him, "Ricky Burns is your best fighter ever."
Wow. So that is that a fight that you look back on? I know you also won't want to reflect too much on the losses. Do you feel an element of being quite proud that you were involved in that capacity of that fight?
Well, I mean, I've been a coach now. I think it's nearly 20 years. I've only been beat 9 times.
Wow.
I think 9 or 10. Something like that.
Aye. And see
12.
when you're in the corner with somebody of Tennis Crawford's skill, obviously I don't think anybody would have predicted at that time he would have been on to have the illustrious career, but see when he did change the stance and when the game plan evolves, how do you as a trainer, when do you decide that you need to maybe move to plan B? Is there ever a time where...
Of course there is. You see it mid-fight, and then you've got to tell your boxer. But Crawford had answers for everything, unfortunately.
See that adaptability, see as a trainer, is there ever a time where you consider there's only so much I can do in the corner? Obviously that's...
Of course there's only so much I can do.
Mm-hmm.
But what boxers in general don't do very well is take responsibility. And I tell each and every one of them, you have got a responsibility to do let's see the game plan that's laid out, we implement it in here.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to take it to the fight.
Absolutely, and you've only got 1 minute in between the rounds, so can it be hard to relay your information in that sort of time?
No, because you've done 12 weeks in here, day in, day out, of a specific game plan and an alternative one. See these guys that say I've got game plan 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, what a lot of shite.
Right.
Just nonsense.
Is that because
they're liars.
That's fair enough.
How can you get into a fight with 5 game plans? Or 3, 4?
Right.
You can't.
Is that the people that say that they maybe don't invest enough time into the game plan 1 and 2? Do you think? In terms of if they say that they can adapt.
Maybe they've not got the ability to adapt a proper game plan first and foremost.
Right.
And to safeguard them, they come out with multiple additional game plans.
See the approach.
Ultimately, a fighter goes out and boxes to his strengths. If you're allowed to. If you're not, you adapt. Any top fighter like Crawford and Ricky Burns can adapt to fight other different styles.
Aye, and we've seen your coaching. I'd say it was close to, if not a masterclass, in the Paddy Donovan Lewis Crocker rematch. Can you just sum up what was the change there that from the first fight? Obviously there was circumstances that it wasn't going Lewis's way. There was a disqualification, which is a fair disqualification. But for you to implement the style that we've seen Lewis Crocker do in the fight, do you want to just touch on that?
Well, I noticed a lot of things that Paddy was doing wrong in the first fight, and I knew they were wrong getting into the first fight. But Lewis weight making for that first fight was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And I thought Paddy looked super strong, abnormally super strong. And he never looked like that in the second fight. Paddy still oversteps his front foot, and he's susceptible to that same shot even now. I don't think he's learnt for that fight. That could happen again to him. But he boxed brilliantly against the guy in Germany a few weeks ago. and ultimately he's now mandatory for the title again. So,
Aye, that's it's going to be quite the trilogy if it ever does
it
happen.
won't
You
happen.
don't think so?
No. One, if Liam Parrow wins against Lewis Crocker, I think it's very harsh to ask him to fight a mandatory immediately. You usually get the grace of a
Aye.
voluntary. Or he could even decide to go for unification, so he'd need to wait then anyway.
Mhm.
If Lewis Crocker wins, I'm positive he'll either do unification or step up to light
Right.
middleweight.
Okay.
So
Aye.
Paddy will either fight for a vacant title. He won't fight Lewis Crocker again. That won't happen again.
Mhm. See, when you are developing a game plan as such,
Honestly, what a prick. You can edit that if you want.
that's alright, we'll leave that in. That actuality. See, when you are developing a game plan, how early in the stage of camp does that get implemented? Is it from the first day?
Day one, aye.
Mhm.
It's got to be.
Aye. And do you recruit sparring partners to accordingly to the opponent?
We try our best to
Mhm.
get people that fight like the opponent.
Mhm. How effective can good sparring partners be in a camp?
Sparring partners is paramount.
Mhm.
Paramount.
Mhm. And
That's why you pay good money to them. The people who don't pay good money, see if you don't invest in yourself, you've got to invest, first and foremost you've got to invest in yourself.
mhm.
I've seen boxers, no my own fighters, that don't invest in what they would even travel outside their own gym to spar guys, they don't succeed.
Right.
If I had a penny for every mile I've travelled in sparring, I'd hate to think how much I'd have.
Aye.
No, I went to Birmingham for 4 rounds, it might be 8 rounds,
Mhm.
and 4 rounds to Birmingham,
Mhm.
5.5 hours there, 5.5 hours back for 4 rounds.
Mhm. And the approach when you are adapting the style of a fighter, can it be tough in the game plan if you said that if they maximise their strengths, but sometimes if the opponent's got the adaptability, do you need to maybe change the approach that you would normally go into?
Quite probably. A lot of it depends on fight night, how I see things, and even if the boxer suggests something, then we could adapt to a different
Mhm.
game plan.
Mhm. During the build up to the Richard Rakpo and Jimmy TKV fight, I'm gonna be honest with you, Billy, I thought that Jimmy TKV would win that fight. I'll just be honest. I think that he had Jimmy TKV, to what I thought, he had a great ability to neutralise people's greatest strengths. I didn't think Richard was going to be as strong as what he was. What was the game plan there in that fight? Was it to go and dominate and be the bully?
Richard, he wasn't a bully, he had a world class jab
Mhm.
that was pinging off of Jamie for 10 seconds into the fight.
Mhm.
The first jab he hit him with, I knew the fight was over. There you go.
Mhm.
I knew he was going to stop him. I've been told by a member of Jamie's team, under no circumstances would they have took that fight if it wasn't for the good puss that Jamie was getting. Under no Richard Rakpo is a world class puncher.
Mhm.
World class.
Mhm. And I think it really showed that he translated his power from cruiserweight up.
Oh, he's strong. He's a bigger puncher at heavyweight than what he was at cruiserweight. That man killed himself to make the weight.
Uh-huh.
What he's told me he's done to make weight is unhealthy.
Mhm. And do you think that under your guidance you're going to really see Rakpo pushing on to bigger and better things?
Well, he's in top 10 after 3 fights as a heavyweight,
Mhm.
so things hopefully can only get better,
Mhm.
and he'll only improve at the weight because he's still developing it into heavyweight.
Mhm.
And look at the size of him now.
Aye.
It's huge. He's a consummate professional. He measures his foods. He doesn't eat shite. He doesn't drink. He doesn't party.
Mhm.
What more can you want from?
Aye. Is
Doesn't answer the phone as well, but that's
there a possible opponent that you could maybe, if you could pick your
I don't pick.
no? See, as a trainer, when the fighter gets offered a fight, what is your role? Do you just accept, or do you negotiate with the fighter and say, look?
Talk with the fighter will ask me my opinion.
Mhm.
In fact, on most occasions, the promoter comes to me and asks me.
Right. Okay. And where does the trainer fall into that? Because if you wholeheartedly believe that your fighter can be successful, do you push the fighter into the fight that you think that they
No,
can?
I don't push any fighter. It's discussion's done between me and the fighter, and a decision will be made, and then the fighter will tell his manager stroke promoter.
See, in the world now in boxing, the landscape's changed with things like Riyadh season. Do you think that that makes fights easier or harder to come about now that maybe the price, the purse is settling down a wee bit?
Easier.
You think so? How so?
If Turkey or Sheikh wants to make a fight, he'll make a fight.
Right.
And I wouldn't say the purses, they're easing off a wee bit. But I've been fortunate to be involved when they were big purses. But they're still better than what they were 10 years ago. A lot better.
Aye.
I mean, I know a British title fight supposedly went for £500,000.
Wow.
Well, that you know, $500,000. Sorry. I mean, when I was coming through in boxing, well, even when I first started being an assistant, I think you'd be lucky if the guys were on 20 grand each. Not each, 20 grand, maybe 8 grand. So if you don't think that's good for boxing and boxers, and you know how them all about.
Aye. No, I do think it's good, but the only concern that I had when Riyadh season came about was the overinflation. If we reach such a high ceiling, maybe when it drops down a wee bit, the fighters will be kind of longing for the purses that they previously had.
No, you've just got to remember the bad about when it before then. Riyadh season will never pay the money that it used to be when it was
first established.
20 grand and 20, never.
And now that we see the boxing promotions working together and making these sort of fights, does that benefit you as a fighter, trainer, to get these fights on?
I'm a manager as well, so I work with all the promoters. I'd work with all the promoters, so it's not a problem to me. It's good to work with all the promoters, but you see, there's niggling between Eddie and Dana White, and there'll always be wee sneaky moves and that. That's just the nature of this sport, unfortunately. But listen, see, ultimately, if the boxer gets the right fights at the right money, everybody's happy.
Can I ask about Zufan, Dana White, and what kind of role can they play in boxing? Because when it first emerged, I don't know if they were going to be quite divisive. I didn't certainly think so. I knew that they would come and try and be the kind of own thing, but what do you think of them not being sanctioned and that sort of thing? Like, they're no, according to the belts.
How are they not sanctioned?
The
fighters are still fighting for the organisation's belts. They've just got their own belt.
Aye, that sort of thing. Like, does that make the, I don't know, does it like
let's put it
for example?
Well, he fought for his own title. He fought for the title, didn't he?
I know, but you see that he's going to be pushing for his long-term goal's been pushing for undisputed.
Undisputed.
It seems that he's maybe further away from that than what he previously was when he was under.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question.
Right.
As a human being, right, and if you've got a family, would you rather have the 4 belts in your house, or $4 million?
Oh, that's totally understandable. Majority are going to go for the money, and
no,
that's
not the majority.
Aye.
Every boxer will go for the money.
Right. That's
so if it's, do you want the belts? Do you want $4 million? $4 million buys you what you want. The 4 belts are sitting there collecting dust.
Aye. And do you think that's
you're not going to be thought any less a fighter because you've not won the unification.
Aye. But I just think that when fighters are pushing for these accolades, to see them maybe pivot off into something like Zuffa and no chase the belts, that, as a boxing fan, that does make me quite sad.
But he's went to Zuffa, and Zuffa have still let him fight for his title. They're still involved with the 4 organisations, and ultimately they've got a financial backer, both in Dana White and His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh. I don't know the combined wealth of the two, but I would suggest it's more than most.
See,
that's why they'll be successful.
How much importance do the belts have in the modern day? Do you think it's maybe diminishing? Not diminishing, but do you think it's less important than what it once was? And how has a trainer and as a boxing presence, how does that make you feel?
It's a bit sad because I've been brought up old school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the belts are everything. You know, but ultimately, as I just reiterate what I said there, boxers have got families. They've got families to keep, so money's their god.
Yeah.
And that is, and the truth be known, that is first and foremost any boxer. What's the first thing you think a boxer asks when they say X is fighting Y? What do you think the first question is?
How much?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
No, or what belt we're fighting for? Don't give a fuck about how much are we getting. That is the first question of 99% of them.
Mm-hmm. And as a boxing fan, I'm kind of from the outside looking in. You're on the inside, sometimes looking out. Do you think the fan and the relationship with a fighter is different if they maybe push for the money fights? You see things like Usyk and Verhoeven, that sort of thing. I would rather see, as a boxing purist, I would rather see Usyk Caballero, but obviously you're saying that the common denominator is money. As boxing fans, do we need to accept that, do you think?
We had to accept it, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jason Statham got Van Hooven in the fight. Do I think Van Hooven done exceptionally well, by the way?
Aye.
But the principle is that he fought for a world title in his second fight,
Mm-hmm.
which in my eyes, and I make by old school eyes, is so wrong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When there's people out there like Caballero who's fought and earned the right to be in the position he's in.
Yeah.
But the guy proved us all wrong with putting in a fantastic performance. I mean, I'd love that fight for Martin Bacoli.
Wow. That would be a brilliant fight.
That would be a great fight.
Mm-hmm. And I think Martin would
Stop him.
I think it would destroy him.
Aye.
To be honest with you.
I think the guy done exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Peter Fury, in my opinion, is the best coach of a heavyweight in the world.
Wow. And that's coming from someone who's got two world class heavyweights in the stable.
But look what Peter said. Tyson Fury's performance against Klitschko was a masterclass.
Yeah.
Done to Peter. His son is an exceptionally good fighter. It's a crying shame that his son hasn't given him any opportunities lately, because he's already been in with Joseph Parker.
Mm-hmm.
And did he fight Pavotkin?
I think Huey Fury did.
He did, didn't
Aye.
he?
Mm-hmm.
And he done exceptionally. I thought he beat Parker.
Aye.
And it had a good. No, it might have not been Pavotkin. He certainly fought Kubrev.
Mm-hmm. Kubrat Pulev,
Yeah.
yeah.
And since then, he's not been really given an opportunity or any description. No real description.
Uh-huh.
And I think that boy deserves a chance because he's a good fighter.
Do you think Huey Fury has maybe underachieved in his career?
Underachieved.
No, underachieved. That maybe sounds wrong, but do you think that
because
he's got?
he was very close to winning it.
Uh-huh.
I think it was about. Was it about title fight against Parker?
Might have been. Might have been.
No, but you know, how could he not have jumped on
Mm-hmm.
before
Shire,
that,
yeah.
after that? Or why was he not given a opportunity?
Mm-hmm.
But he's a good. And I know he did have a few illnesses, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
He did have an illness. He had that. Was it long COVID they called it?
Wow.
I'm sure he had that. But hey, listen, top guy.
Mm-hmm.
So his dad's successful was him. Given a chance, I'm sure he could do something majorly. And look what he's done with the
Mm-hmm.
kickboxer,
Uh-huh.
Peter.
Aye.
Peter's an exceptional coach with heavyweights.
Mm-hmm. If Bacoli and Van Hoven did get announced, do you think that would give Martin Bacoli the motivation to get back to the potential that we all know he's capable of?
Well, he's coming back next 10 days time. He's been training over in Congo, so every conversation I'm having now, he's talking more and more boxing.
Mm-hmm. And as a trainer, when you took Martin Bacoli on, was that right in saying that was not on a whim but kind of by chance? Was that you got him down as a sparring partner? Is that right?
He was a sparring partner for Stephen Simmons and went away 6 months later. I got a message, "Hi coach, I'm a free agent, would you like to train and manage me?" He says, "I loved it in your gym, blah blah blah." So between me and my sponsor, we got him over here and I've been a 6-month visa and that's history.
And his resume speaks for itself.
Well, we got him to number 1 in the world with WBA.
Mhm.
3 of the WBC. I think he was in top 5 of the IBF as well. But he got offered that Parker fight and it kind of for ratings wise it kind of
Mhm.
damaged him, but financially
Mhm.
sensational for him.
Is there maybe it's unjustified me asking this, but I think is there maybe an element of regret from yourself and Martin that you took that fight? Obviously, it's life changing money, but do you think it?
Well, let's put it this way: you'd fit to fight at least twice. The way the landscape is, I'd say no,
Right.
because would we even now have been fighting for the world title? Unlikely.
Mhm.
As the IBF, well, we might have, because Daniel ended up getting fighting for the IBF, didn't he?
He did.
But then again, we were strong in the WBA. It was the WBA. We were strong, very strong, number one. So we may not have been fighting for the world title because the WBA hasn't been, apart from unification fights. See, this is what, in my opinion, in the last two to 2.5 years, what's been wrong, badly wrong in boxing, especially in the heavyweight division, is when they're having these unification fights,
Mhm.
they're having rematch clauses on them.
Yeah.
If you're a mandatory, you shouldn't get a rematch clause, and if you're unification fights, you shouldn't get rematch clauses.
Mhm.
Earn the right,
Mhm.
you know. And the voluntary defences, if I'm giving you a shot at my title
Mhm.
and you beat me, yes, I'm entitled to a rematch clause because I've given you the opportunity.
Yeah. Aye.
So you give me the opportunity to win it back. But if you've earned the right to fight the champion
And you win.
and you win,
Uh-huh.
you stay champion.
Yeah.
You fight out another.
Mhm.
You don't get another shot, and then what happens if it goes to one each? You get another shot.
Aye.
So what about the guy that's sitting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the rankings? They're all sitting there, sitting on their thumbs,
Mhm.
twiddling their fingers.
Aye. Absolutely not. I think that's common sense, to be honest
Of
with
course
you.
it is.
And you see,
But common sense doesn't prevail in boxing, unfortunately.
it's a sport that's littered with politics, and at the moment you're seeing a possible rematch with Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that that's too soon for Fabio Wardley?
That's Robbie's decision, isn't it?
Mhm.
I don't know how that has affected him. I would fight Daniel Dubois straight away again.
Mhm.
I don't think that was anywhere near the best Wardley.
Right.
You know, I was down in Tottenham for Rix's fight against Jamie TKV, and I said to the manager of the big tall boy, I says to him, when I first seen Wardley, I thought, no chance will he get anywhere above British level. And I says, yous have done a fantastic job on that guy, and huge credit to him for doing what he's done. I says, and please pass on my congratulations to him.
Mhm. What an absolutely remarkable story. There's it's
Unreal.
a testament to hard work and dedication. That.
Unbelievable. But I think in that last fight, a lot of basic skills that you've learnt for a wee boy
Mhm.
were missing in that fight.
Right.
You've shown a lot of leading right hands that were a mile out. If you miss with a jab, you're missing with a right hand, and he missed the jab a lot, and then he was missing by a lot with the right hand as well. But it was a hard fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a hard fight. There was.
But you could pick, as a coach, I could pick multiple holes in it for
Mhm.
both boxers.
Right. Is there weaknesses you see in Daniel Dubois?
Listen, Daniel Dubois knows what happened to Daniel Dubois when he sparred Martin McCauley. He knows what's happened to him, and he'll know what he'll get when if they ever have the balls to face him,
Mhm.
which I think he would have. He'll be confident enough. But the same will happen to him, even worse with the wee gloves on.
Would you back Martin to go in and stop Daniel Dubois?
100% within 5 rounds.
Wow, that is bold.
That's no bold, it's fact. I
That's-
know what he's done.
Mhm.
I've witnessed it on 3, 4 occasions what he's done.
Daniel Dubois.
And they've sparred many there's never been a spar, there's never been a time, any time, Daniel's got the better of the spar.
Wow.
Any time.
Wow. How would you navigate Martin to get back into that position? Would you find someone like David Adderley?
David Adley's Mark's sparring partner. It's a sparring partner.
Right. Okay.
Mate, that's levels and levels and levels below. Like, 100%. David's a fine fighter,
Mhm.
nice guy. He wouldn't be looking forward to fighting Mark McCauley.
Mhm.
because the next Mark Bacall is going to be the man that for Jared Anderson. It's not going to be
Yeah.
an overweight
Uh-huh.
Mark Bacall. He's going to get back to he's going to get back to the best Mark Bacall.
Did you see what happened there? I was maybe not underestimating, but that was maybe the benchmark for Mark McCall from the outside maybe dropped down a wee bit. Could you see a dominant performance that would propel him back in the big rankings?
Aye, but knowing Martin, he'd want to fight somebody good. Because he doesn't motivate himself if he's fighting somebody that he knows that he can do at any given time.
Is Martin one of the fighters that he needs to feel the kind of underdog element?
Or in danger.
When Martin did fight Jared Anderson, what did that camp look like to produce such a dominant performance?
Just the same as every other camp.
And when you think about the current heavyweight landscape, is there a fight that you would push Martin to get into, maybe just as soon?
Fight Andy Burrel. We knocked back that fight. In fact, it was about 4 years ago I got a phone call for his manager in Australia and he offered us a fight and I said, your boys only had, I think he had only had 6 fights or 7 fights at a time. I says, take a wise man's advice, don't fight Martin McCauley. I says, because it will be set back your career 18 months. And they never got back to us.
I think that's for me, the current time.
I'd have that fight for Richard Dragpur.
Aye, that would also be a cracking fight.
No bother.
I think Richard has to start favourite. You've seen
Fraser
Fraser Clark.
Based on the last performances, aye.
You've seen Fraser Clark in the Justice Sunny, and he did fall short, but his stock did rise. I think it was a much better performance.
Much better performance, aye.
And
because he's got a solid coach behind him in Joe. Somebody who cares and thinks about the boxers, same as myself, first and foremost.
Do you think that would be a fight that we could see in the near future for Dragpur?
I've offered it, why not? Again, it's his decision and whoever promotes him.
Can I ask, would Martin step in with Moses Atoma if the price was right?
Of course. We got offered the fight last year, we accepted it.
Wow.
Contrary to what Ben Shalom says, we accepted it. I've got evidence that we accepted it. And continually asking after we were off the fight for X amount of money, we asked for why and nothing ever came back to us, even though I continually asked what's happening, nothing happened. Because in my opinion our side couldn't get the fight made.
Right. Is that something that...
Well, let's put it this way, see the figure we asked for? I'm led to believe that the person who got the fight got $1 million more than what we asked for.
Wow. Why do you think that is? Fair enough. If that fight did come about, what would obviously without spilling too much, what would the game plan be? Would it take...
Well, I wouldn't tell you.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I know exactly how I'd fight him.
Really?
Yes.
So, do you see...
And he's a top fighter.
Do you see... I see weaknesses. Do you see things that you can exploit?
Weaknesses, of course I do.
That's exciting.
And Martin boxes great against southpaws. His brother was a southpaw world cruiserweight champion, and he sparred Monday to Friday for a year with his brother and then he became a boxer. So southpaws cause Martin no issues whatsoever. I'm not for a minute saying it's an easy fight, but I do believe Martin Bacall in his A game would beat Moses Atuma. Well, just what's his name? Anderson.
Jared Anderson
was primarily a southpaw against Martin, and look what he done to him. And all of a sudden Anderson became this, Anderson's know what he was. Anderson's a top fighter. Top fighter.
I think Martin Bacall derailed Jared Anderson for the time being, so hopefully we can see him back. He was booked to fight Solomon Dakers. I think that would be a good fight for him.
For who?
For Jared Anderson to come back against.
Again, it's a mismatch.
Really?
No, definitely.
Solomon Dakers is, would you say British level? Slightly below?
Just below.
Would you say...
Maybe British level, maybe on the verge of British level.
And that shows how highly you rate Jared Anderson if you're
Well,
saying so
Jared
much.
good man, a good fighter, and a cup, some good shots as well. He's a good fighter.
Aye. I think the heavyweight division at the moment is absolutely booming. It's one of the most exciting, well, probably is the most.
Well, there's my question, right? We fought Takam. I'm sure we fought Takam in November. I think we were out the ring to August. Why were we out that long?
Aye.
And we got to fight Anderson. We got to fight with Anderson, and then we were out the ring September, October, November, December, January, February, and we got offered the fight against Joe Park. So we're out the ring another 6 months. And 2 weeks before the Anderson fight, the Parker fight, we got offered Effie Jaguar 3 weeks before it. So we were fighting in May in America at that time, for which we said yes to the fight. By the way, just get that out there. So we were fighting Effie Jaguar. I'm sitting in my house at 27 on a Thursday night. Do you want to fight Joe Parker? So I put it to Martin. Martin accepted it, but he's still out the ring for 6 months. So you were, the first fight for Takam was 8 months, 9 months nearly, and then 6 months. So there's a lot of inactivity there. Why was that? It wasn't because we weren't taking fights.
Did they fall into the Huntington Club, do you think?
Well, is that Martin's fault?
It's not
And your
Martin's fault.
promoter should be fronting the money to get a fight, shouldn't he?
No, it should be.
Instead of depending on rehab season shows.
No, definitely.
It's called promoting. No waiting with a begging bowl for rehab season to make fights for you, or off your late 36-hour jobs.
Aye. When there's a heavyweight as dangerous as Martin Bacoli, he's cleaned up the just below world level. You seen what happened with Tony Yoka?
He went to school to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And one judge gave it a draw, and the other 2 judges only gave it 2 rounds, and he won 9 rounds out of 10 and dropped him twice. Broke his nose. Come on.
Aye. That just shows Martin Bacoli's level. So I think it's sad that he maybe did fall into the club that don't fight Martin Bacoli unless you really need to.
But he's still dependent on other people might not want to fight you, but your promoter's got a job to promote you and put you on and invest in you, which was none.
Right.
We got one fight with boxing in 3 years in Poland on our own promoter shows. I'm talking about one fight.
Aye.
Do you think that's good?
It's absolutely not good. What would the game plan have been if you were with different promoters, for example, Frank Warren or?
Frank Warren's, for me, the best in the business at building a fighter. Eddie Hearn is an exceptional promoter.
Frank Warren's good at navigating.
Frank Warren's the best at building a fighter. He's the best at matchmaking.
You see that, especially with Atoma, but I think he's at the point now where his next fight needs to be a goodie. It needs to be somebody that's coming to win.
Somebody in the top 10. I knew Jim Franklin wasn't going to be much good.
No.
I mean, listen, it's good matchmaking. He's a known name because he got beat with Dylan White, who's finished in my opinion, and he also went the distance with AJ, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That was
so he's a
AJ
known,
was on the rebound
but he's
at that time.
a known name that no fought for over a year.
Aye.
That's a long time out the ring. So he's got him at a great time, but the stoppage was sensational.
Aye. When we speak about AJ, would Rakpor or Mark McCauley push for that fight at any point?
Of course he would. Martin would fight anybody on the planet. He's not too Usyk.
Nah.
So why would we not fight AJ? AJ's a great fighter.
Aye.
Was a great fighter. Don't know if he's still a great fighter, but he's a great person, and he's been listen, boxing would be where it is now if it wasn't for AJ. There you go. This all started, rehab season started really with Tyson Fury.
Yeah, and then Ganu.
But boxing, I was on that undercard with Takam, against Takam with Martin. But boxing got where it was because of Anthony Joshua, and everybody's got to be thankful for him for that.
One of my fondest memories was watching his fight against Klitschko at
Right
Wembley.
fight.
And
But that was a short shot, Klitschko.
exactly.
No the Klitschko that Tyson Fury
box.
fought.
Aye.
And so you, again, more credit to Peter Fury.
Aye. If they two ever did step in, Fury and Joshua, do you think that fight will live up to? No.
No, it should have been done 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
Aye.
Everybody knows that, but the greed aspect kicked in, and they try to make it bigger and bigger, and then they get beat. Alright, they get beat with Usyk, who's the best. But they get beat nevertheless, so the stock goes down. I mean, they were talking 100+ million each at one time, weren't they? Now they're talking 50s, 40s. Stock's not bad, not bad.
It's not bad day.
It's not bad day's work when
Right.
you get it, but you see what I mean with it. The value of the fights diminished massively.
And see, how important is it as a sort of coalition as a manager, a boxer, to time it right, to get the fight at its very peak for any fight? Because
This is what Frank Warren does to a T.
Mhm.
You know, to an absolute T. He's the best at it.
Timing it right. The timing seems to be everything.
As everything. Another guy that was good at it was Dean Powell. God rest his soul. He was great at finding the right fights at the right time for people. In conjunction with Frank.
Is there anything in boxing at the moment that you feel needs to be addressed to help trainers such as yourself really propel your fighters onto the next stage?
What I'd like to see for trainers is trainers to get contracts.
Right.
With the boxers and through the board, because the coaches are like people that spend more time with the fighters. They're the ones that get the least paid, and they get dropped like a hot toddy if something goes wrong. Whereas a manager's got a contract, a promoter's got a contract, but the person that's most important to the boxer is the coach, and they've got nothing. Now, I know Joe Gallagher was trying to get something done years ago, and it never ever came to fruition. But something should be put in place, and I think the British Boxing Board of Control should get their head out of the sand and get something done about it.
Can I ask, when Lewis decided to part ways with yourself, is that an example of quite a unjust departure?
No, Lewis just thought he needed a new change for him. We'll see how he goes in his first defence.
But for you lead him towards the world title.
I've not spoke to one person that says it was what he done was morally right.
Aye. And
But it's boxing we're in.
just
Listen, you just accept it. It was a 30-second phone call, but I knew already. I knew he'd been doing London 4 weeks previous with the coach that he's with. I knew I was told, so it was no surprise to me. No, the people I feel sorry for most is it's my wife and the person whose house Lewis was staying in for 2 years, 4 months. You know, he was staying in their house free of charge for all that time. They supported him wherever he went to his fights. They people went out in a whim for him. Me, he was picked up every day, dropped off every day, helped out financially, got sponsors, got accommodation. There's nothing that wasn't done. I remember he came to Scotland when he was inactive. He was suffering a bit of depression. We got all that lifted for him. He improved as a fighter. Got fight after fight after fight, won the world title, and then he decided, but that's just the way it is.
and
That's okay. I've nothing bad to say against Lewis. Lewis Crocker, I hope, will be a friend of mine for life.
and you seem to have such a tight relationship, especially with the euphoric celebrations. That was a nice sight to see when you were celebrating together.
He said, well, go and have a look at the interview, but he said that after the fight, this man's done everything for me. Well, obviously I never done enough because he went elsewhere.
See that sort of trainer protection that you, what would
It's not protection, it's a contract.
right?
It's the same contract that a manager's got. The safeguarding.
Yep.
So my time is money as well, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
you need to safeguard me as an individual. if I put all the work into somebody and then they just fuck off, as Brendan Ingle says, they use you and abuse you.
Mm-hmm. What would that look like? What would that contract ideally install?
Well, maybe a 3-fight contract, a year contract, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And if you fuck off, you still got to pay your percentage, because it's a boxer's prerogative, a boxer's choice to go away. I don't know many coaches. I have said to a couple of boxers that I don't think they should fight anymore, and they've left because I care about them,
Mm-hmm.
but they've never achieved anything when they've left.
Mm-hmm.
So it safeguards you as an individual, as a coach, for that duration of that contract.
Mm-hmm. Is the as a trainer, and it sees on a basic human level, do you find it tough sometimes to I don't want to say man manage, but to deal with your fighters, to develop that relationship when, if they do decide to leave, or there is maybe a wee bit of conflict? How do you navigate through that using your experience?
If a boxer asks me to leave, I've managed a boy, and he asked me to leave, and he was released 15 minutes later. I'll just email the board. I don't want anybody that's unhappy in my gym, training in my gym, because when there's one bad apple, it can lead to more. You know what I mean? I'm not bringing one bad apple can cause a lot of shite in the gym. I've got the best bunch of guys I've ever had.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Stable.
We train hard. We work hard, and we also have a great bit of banter as well. Everybody gets it. I get it. They get it. It's all banter.
And a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter.
Very much so.
And that's.
I mean, I've got the 2 heavyweights. I've got the 2 Portuguese fighters. WBC international champion in Lima. I've got Ruben Torres, who's undefeated in 9. We've got 2 heavyweights. We've got Stephen Newens, undefeated in 13. Lee McGregor, Issa. Well, I've only trained Lee for 5 weeks. I've got Issa, who I believe he could be the next Naz. I rate him that highly. I think he's fucking brilliant. I don't think what I've seen in him in the 2 months he's been here. Honestly, I've had him in with guys that are 10-0, and it's just amazing.
Does that, I don't want to say relights, but does that just fuel your fire when you get a new kind of fighter and to see the potential that you can develop? What does that feel like as a trainer?
Well, I'm developing it. See me, I'm the luckiest guy in the world, right? I come from a shithole in Glasgow, right? And it is, but I'm still proud of where I came from. I wake up every morning and I thank God that I'm coming to this gym doing what I love doing, what I'm good at doing. It's not a job. I don't consider it a job, because I love doing what I do. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I've earned a good living at it. I've got a lovely house. I've got multiple cars. I own a car and van business. I've got my boxing. My house is paid off. I'm the luckiest guy on the planet, in my eyes. I've got a family that are proud of me. I've got this hung up here that I'm immensely proud of. Only Scotsman to ever be inducted in the Hall of Fame. As a coach. Lucky. Well, lucky to an extent, but people don't see that I'm in this gym 6 o'clock every morning, working to make my fighters the best that they can possibly be. People think you just turn up fight night and your fighter wins. I wish it was that easy.
There's a saying, you create your own luck.
Well, you do to an extent. And I remember Ben Davison got a hard time for saying nobody works harder than him. He obviously works hard. The guy's an exceptionally good trainer. But people that don't think he's a good trainer are just jealous. And the jealousy in this sport, it rips out of people's faces. And I love it.
Do you think that there's maybe that jealousy, like you said, how does that translate throughout boxing? Do you think that there's these cliques and the politics and?
I know somebody that pays podcasters to interview him. How bad's that?
That is bad.
You know what I mean? So the individual's always in the so-called limelight.
And controlling the narrative.
You know what I mean? It's a fucking joke, innit? How desperate are you?
And when you reflect on your stable at the moment, like you said, it's absolutely booming and it just keeps growing. How does that, when the time comes and you do retire, how proud are you going to be of everything that you've achieved, from being the assistant trainer to right up to a world class Hall of Fame trainer? How does that feel, and just a life's achievement?
No, I'm obviously I'm proud of what I've done, but more importantly for me, my family are proud of what I've done, and my family are everything to me. That's all that matters to me, my family. Everything I do is for my family. When I'm dust, they'll get what I've got, and that's all that matters to me.
And it gives you that spirit to wake up every day, even when some days it might not be the most motivated day to come and show up again and again and again. So
I'm easily motivated
by love for the
by
sport.
love of the sport. No money, I'm not driven by money, I'm not driven by, I just want to win fights.
And
I think I've had 267 fights now, and I think I've lost, I think it's 9 or 10 or something like that.
that's really impressive.
12, it might be 12, I'm not sure, something stupid.
And as we finish off, I just wanted to thank you for your time today. And
I wish you all the very best in you and your colleague are
Aye.
doing your podcast.
aye,
And as I said to you previously, you're more than welcome to come and interview any of the boxers at
Thank
any
you.
given time.
thank you. Is there anything finally that you would like to get off your chest into the boxing world that could get a wee headline on the go? Is there anything that we covered today that you think doesn't get spoke about enough?
No.
Maybe the trainers, do you think, as a trainer, is there anything that you would, what would you say to a young trainer getting into the game? Be careful.
Be careful. Keep a very close very close circle of friends. But one thing Pete Harrison told me, about 6 years into being a coach, he said, "You're going to be an exceptional coach." He said, this is his words, not mine, by the way, I'm not blowing my trumpet. He said to me, "You're going to be an exceptional coach." He says, "And see people that you think are your friends are now, they're not going to be your friends later, because they'll be jealous and they'll want you to fail." So I used to laugh when Ricky Burns was winning world title fights. I says, "There's another few tellies getting kicked in the night." Didn't take Curry's on a Sunday morning for a new telly, because we've been successful. But it was all about a good banter, you know what I mean? It was like funny. But listen, I'm as I said to you, very fortunate to be where I am, the position I'm in. It's no through luck, it's through hard work and the dedication of my boxers, working hard.